Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Prince Albert police continue to investigate after a shooting on New Year's Eve. Police were called to the 200 block of 20th Street East around 9 o'clock, where the caller said a gun was discharged at a home. Officers found evidence of a shooting, but no injuries were reported. Police were asking for tips and sightings of this older model dark SUV that was parked outside. Police found a man got out, fired at the residence, then took off on 20th Street. In an update, Prince Albert police say the suspect vehicle has been located, but are looking for more information from the public. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or submit a tip through Crime Stoppers. RCMP are trying to determine if gunshots heard on the Big Island Lake Cree Nation on Friday night were connected to last week's fatal shooting. Police responded just before 11 p.m. to multiple reports from people who thought they heard a gun being fired. No one was found injured, and RCMP are investigating whether there's a connection between this and the December 30th shooting on Big Island Cree Nation, which left one man dead. At last word, RCMP said they were still trying to find the two people they believe were seen with a gun riding on an ATV in the community. The community was placed on lockdown following the shooting and a dangerous persons alert issued. A man died of his injuries. 3 others were also injured in the attack. Prince Albert police are updating the public after a large presence on Friday night. Officers were called to the 900 block of 2nd Street East for a report of a man with a firearm. Police checked video to confirm an altercation between 2 women and a man where a long barrel firearm was present. The man went into a suite and the women were seen to be in possession of the firearm. Police called for special resources to surround the residence. All individuals came outside and a search warrant found a small caliber air rifle. A 29-year-old will appear in Provincial court next week on multiple firearms charges. A 37-year-old man has been charged in the death of a baby in Melfort. RCMP say they were called to a home on Christmas Eve where a child under the age of 1 was in medical distress. The baby was taken to hospital and died on December 28th. The child's injuries were considered suspicious. On Saturday, RCMP arrested the 37-year-old man and charged him with second-degree murder. RCMP say the baby and the man knew each other, but are not providing any further details. The suspect made his first court appearance this morning in Melfort. A man found unconscious in a dumpster in the RM of Corman Park is alive, thanks to members of the public and Corman Park Police. Just before midnight on Friday, an officer with the Corman Park Police responded to multiple reports of a man who was not dressed for the weather walking along Highway 41. Fresh footprints in the snow directed officers off the road and into an open field. A second officer arrived and using a drone, police were able to search the area. They found a 47-year-old man who was intoxicated, unconscious, and in a dumpster. It's believed he took shelter from the cold inside the container. The temperature at the time was between -20 and -24 with the wind chill. The man was taken to police cells where he stayed until he sobered up. All right, Jeff, lots to talk about. What do we have in terms of weather this week?
Well, you know, it's going to be an interesting situation where temperatures are, I'm not going to say a roller coaster because that indicates a lot of up and down, but we are going to see a bit of a warm spell, a bit of a cool off, and then some really mild conditions as we head into the weekend. So generally speaking, we're talking about a warming trend, but it's not without its bumps and little valleys and apexes there. But we are talking about, though, is not a lot of active weather across the pattern. We'll wait and see if that adds up to something later on. But for the most part, things are quiet across the Prairie Province and getting warmer.
SGI is asking drivers to increase their awareness of road conditions this winter. The combination of slow, slush, and ice on roadways caused 27% of all collisions per year based on a 5-year average. Safety tips include checking the highway hotline, driving slower than the speed limit when conditions deteriorate, and allowing for more space between you and the vehicle in front, as well as being alert at all intersections.
Even if you've got the green light, making sure you're being aware of what's happening with the other vehicles. Has everybody cleared the intersection safely? And are you safe to proceed? So just really being alert and making sure that you're taking every step necessary to make sure you're driving safely this winter.
RCMP reported 1 fatal collision in the province this year, killing 2 people just south of Saskatoon on New Year's Day. With students across the province returning to the classroom, the Saskatchewan NDP is calling on the province to address long-standing concerns for students with complex needs. Saskatoon MLA Matt Love is calling on the provincial ombudsman to launch an investigation into students being denied access to classrooms. This comes nearly a month after a report from Inclusion Saskatchewan estimated up to 1,350 students with complex needs were being sent home routinely last school year. Love says he's raised the issue many times before and was hoping to see some sort of action after the winter holiday. But he's discouraged to see the same issues persist, with parents being asked to take their children out of school because there aren't enough supports available.
Last resorts should be incredibly uncommon. But in this province, in our classrooms, we have nearly 1,300 students being denied access to full-time education. That's not a healthy system.
The education minister says dedicated funding for complex needs has increased this year, and school divisions are responsible for staffing and addressing student needs. Saskatoon's first ever gaming bus has rolled into town. The gaming cruiser travels within Saskatoon and surrounding areas, bringing a video game party to whoever wants to test their skills. The idea first sparked in 2018 when Charisse and Ronald Borinas wanted to expand their indoor playground into something that older kids and even adults can enjoy. After a bus for sale listing and a summer of hard work, the idea became a reality by the end of 2025.
Especially for families, they can bond together, so 3 families, 2 families can bond together. It's not just kids and friends, it's also kids and their parents.
Anyone looking to book the bus can do so on the Gaming Cruiser website. The Saskatchewan NDP is calling for an emergency sitting of the legislature to debate recently announced rate hikes at Sask Power and SGI. SGI is seeking a 3.75% increase in June of 2026 and June of 2027, while Sask Power is applying for 2 years of 4% rate increases. Both still require regulatory approval. SGI customers would pay $38 more a year, while the average homeowner would face a $60 annual increase to their Sask Power bills. The NDP say consumers need a break.
As you all know, we learned of these increases last Friday, and the timing of that announcement would suggest that the government understands that this is not going to be popular with Saskatchewan people.
The provincial government says the 2025-26 provincial budget delivered the largest income tax reduction since 2008 and reduced education property tax mill rates. Visitors to the Wanuskewin Heritage Park were able to learn more about hoop dancing over the weekend. It's part of the Wanuskewin dance and music presentations, drop-in programming, which offers visitors an opportunity to learn more about Indigenous art forms. This week, hoop dancer Lawrence Roy offered both a performance and an opportunity for people to try their hand at hoop dancing.
I have 30 hoops that I dance with, and I come here and I dance for the people, and I give them information about what hoop dancing is, where it comes from, how it was originated, and everything.
Wanuskewin offers this drop-in programming every weekend between September and May. Thousands of people got a safe ride home over the holidays thanks to volunteers with Operation Red Nose. Just under 23,000 rides were provided by the service over the 2025 holiday campaign across the country. In Saskatchewan, 410 drivers and their passengers took advantage of the service, with 339 volunteers helping out. Operation Red Nose sees a team of volunteers take those in need of a designated driver and their vehicles home or to a destination of their choice. Saskatchewan communities part of the program include Saskatoon, Prince Albert, and the Battlefords. When we come back, help for seniors at risk of a fall, a wearable innovation that protects with the power of air. A new wearable innovation out of Montreal to protect seniors in case of a fall is starting to blow up. The company has combined airbags with pants to create inflatable clothing. Christine Long shows us how they work and what inspired the idea.
That's the sound of a small airbag inflating as Azimut Medical co-founder Pierre Lee demonstrates a fall. The waistband of those pants is full of technology.
Like an airbag, and is completely inflated by the time you hit the ground. And so the goal here is to protect your hips, protect hip fractures, protect from pelvic injuries.
Co-founder Maxime Bolduc explains the slim airbag hardware isn't new, but their patented software can recognize a real fall and not just when you're plopping down on the couch.
So what we do is that we derive real movement, real falls from people, and we train the algorithm on that.
The idea was inspired by his concerns for his grandparents. And if ever there was a grandson qualified to build this, it's Bolduc. He has a degree in mechanical engineering and a master's in innovation management, which he used to create a product more advanced than traditional hip protectors.
So this innovation that is coming with the inflatable hip protector is something great because people wouldn't really like the hip protectors we had in the past.
Geriatrician Dr. Stéphane Lemire says proper protection in falls could reduce the need for hospitalization in seniors.
This issue of preventing falls, preserving mobility, making sure that people will not break something.
Yet, at this point, these revolutionary pants don't come cheap. The commercial price could be $1,500 a pair.
So using this right now, our pre-production version is 64% more effective than a regular hip protector.
Clinical trials begin in January with a list of clients in Quebec and Ontario who want to start the new year with more safety on their sides. Christine Long, CTV News.
Jeff's looking at the weather. He'll give us a forecast right after this and a new app that predicts knee injuries before they occur. Boy, Jeff, the times they are a-changing. Did you say that we were going to be going from, if you wanted to call these temperatures wild, but it's going to be pretty mild in a few days?
Yes, it's going to be quite mild. In fact, we're looking at plus temperatures as we head into the latter part of the weekend, early part of next week. So as much fun as that is, it could get really sloppy on the roads and, of course, slippery at night. So those mild temperatures come with it. It's a double-edged sword is what I'm getting at. Quiet conditions in terms of active weather across Saskatchewan. A different sort of situation. We do anticipate some rain starting to show up on the west coast later on. Not so much today, but tonight into tomorrow. And then as we make our way across the prairies, not much going on. So, like I said, a very quiet pattern for Saskatchewan. So let's take a look and see what we've got going on with our futurecast. So as you can see, the pressure line's a little tighter together, so maybe a bit of a breeze tomorrow, but not strong winds. And there is a little bit of snow expected to show up, developing in Alberta and sliding into northern areas of Saskatchewan, but central and southern parts of the province, not a big deal. And as you can see, these, like I said, quiet right across the prairie provinces. If there's anywhere in the prairies that's going to get any active weather, it looks as though it's going to be the northern parts of all three provinces. Here we go with our details for tonight. So we're dealing with partly cloudy skies. If you've got any snow right now, it's tapering off. So minus 22 degrees for the overnight temperature in Spiritwood, minus 21 in the Battlefords, minus 24 for the overnight temperature in Candle Lake. Cloudy skies in Birch Hills, but that will start to drift a little bit in terms of allowing a bit more clarity as we make our way into Tuesday. Rostern, partly cloudy skies, minus 22 as well in Nipawin and Melfort, minus 21 degrees. So into tomorrow, mainly cloudy conditions, but a bit of sunshine breaking through the cloud deck in Spiritwood, minus 9, minus 8 for the Battlefords, minus 13 under cloudy skies for Candle Lake, minus 11 in Birch Hills tomorrow, minus 12 on Tuesday in Rostern with mainly cloudy skies. A little bit of cloud, or I should say cloudy conditions rather, in Nipawin and Melfort, and both locations expected to top out at minus 11 degrees. So minus 11 degrees, that's pretty much seasonal, or just slightly below that, slightly above that, I should say, but Spiritwood and the Battlefords above seasonal temperatures. temperatures, and those warmer conditions are going to continue as we make our way into the rest of the week. So minus 23 degrees for Prince Albert and area with the snow tapering off. Winds out of the southwest at 10. And then tomorrow's daytime high, minus 12 degrees. So that's pretty much seasonal for this time of year, maybe a hair warmer than that. Cloudy skies, winds out of the west at 15. And the 7-day forecast, minus 8 on Wednesday, backing off a little bit on Thursday and Friday to seasonal numbers. But then look at this, Saturday, minus 6, and then plus 1, the expected daytime highs on Sunday and Monday. So a good idea to top up the windshield wiper fluid.
I was going to say, I don't know what to do with myself except probably plan for that. Thanks, Jeff. Well, the Prince Albert Raiders rang in the new year with a home-and-home against the Regina Pats, and 2026 is looking a lot like 2025 ended for the Raiders.
Him though, Bebo has a man in front. It's Corkish. Corkish fires. Scores! Happy New Year! Uncork the bottle.
The scoring continued as Prince Albert had 8 different players finish with multiple points on Friday night. The Raiders take the first game 9-2 on home ice, with Jonas Sievertson leading the way with 1 goal and 3 assists. On Saturday, it was Braden Doobie leading with the first goal, and then the final 2 goals into the empty net, his first WHL hat trick in a 5-2 win. The Raiders host Swift Current and then Edmonton this weekend. Meanwhile, on the turf, the Saskatchewan Rush improved to 4-1 in Coach Derek Keenan's 300th career game.
And now Saskatchewan will put their penalty kill back to the test. Zach Manzo turns on the burners and he scores.
Zach Mans had 3 goals and an assist, while Ryan Keenan had 4 and 2. The Rush defeat Halifax 11-7. That's 2 straight wins against the team the Rush faced in the semifinal last year, and the most wins so far in the NLL. Saskatchewan is in Vegas this weekend, back at SaskTel Centre January 17th against the relocated Oshawa Firewolves. The curling community has converged in Melville for the men and women's provincial championships. Draw 1 of the Bungie Prairie Pinnacle Women's Championship kicked things off this morning with 2 former champions facing each other, Penny Barker's rink versus Team Nancy Martin.
Nice. Right out, right out, right out.
Down by 1, Team Barker third, Lindsay Birch had a double takeout, putting Martin's rink in trouble. But with the last shot, Martin's rock chips off another. Barker doesn't even need to throw. Her rink wins the opener 10-9. On other sheets, Jana Tisdale 9-1 over Jolene Campbell. Sarah Miller, Sandra Schmerler's daughter, scores a 5-2 win over Sherry Lee Orsted, and Ashley Thivino 9-8 over Jenna Angie. Draw 2 goes tonight at 7. One of the Roughriders' longest tenured players is calling it a career after 12 CFL seasons.
Noise picks up. Second down and 10 from the 26. Pressure. Micah Johnson has it. He's the latest to add to his sack total. That relentless Rider defensive line.
Micah Johnson announced his retirement from professional football this morning. He had 309 tackles, 71 sacks, and 2 interceptions in 178 regular season games. He's a 3-time Grey Cup champion who joined Saskatchewan in 2019, then again in 2023. He won't be going far, though. He's been named the Roughriders defensive line coach for next season.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
A torn ACL is one of the most common injuries in sports that comes with a recovery that's roughly a year long. Now, an orthopedic surgeon in Quebec has developed an app which predicts whether people are at risk for the injury. Anastasia Dextrin reports.
The ACL is a ligament in the knee, and when torn or sprained, there can be long-term effects.
If you have that injury, you're out of your sports for a rehab that's a year long.
Dr. Paul Martineau is an orthopedic surgeon and director of sports medicine research. In his 18 years at the McGill University Health Center, he's done more than 2,000 ACL surgeries, and he says injuries often appear starting around age 12.
It's become an epidemic where women are injuring themselves 7 times more than men. And the age of the athletes is getting younger and younger. You can see that at all levels of play.
From school sports to the elite professional level, Martineau says prevention is better than cure. Enter Hurt Blocker. The free app aims to flag the risk of ACL injury early and avoid related setbacks. The app is user-friendly. You start by taking a video of yourself doing this, jumping on each leg. The app uses artificial intelligence to analyze knee movement and stability as you land. It then determines if you might be predisposed to ACL injury.
It will process that data and come out with you jump in a way that's risky for your ACL. And if you need help, or if you're a red light, like we call them in the app, there are exercises you can do that decrease your risk of injury by 50%. It's huge.
The recommended exercises are known as neuromuscular training programs. The combination of moves like jogging and jumps helps to improve agility, strength, and balance. And already, Martineau says the app has reached 4,000 downloads in 2 months.
Well, essentially what we were trying to do is put physiotherapists, a doctor in your pocket so that parents, coaches, athletes could just test themselves at home.
Martineau says 12 universities and several professional teams will soon be using the app, and he hopes to see even more jump on board. Anastasia Dextrine, CTV News.
All right, Jeff, even if you've got perfect knees, even the best skaters can look foolish sometimes.
Back up high, Thompson tries a shot.
Knocks the blade out of Marchman's skate, and he's a long way from the bench. He's going to get a toe here. Severson with some good backpedaling toe. Well, that teamwork.
There's Columbus Blue Jackets forward Mason Marchment. He lost his blade blocking a shot, and he fell into the boards on Saturday night, and his teammate had to come to the rescue, towing him most of the way back to the bench. You might know Marchment's dad. He's a well-known NHLer, Brian Marchment. He was a pretty tough guy, Jeff. I don't know if you've probably read his name over the years.
I think so. But that's because I was wondering what's going on there. But there you go. No blade. No.
Speaking of knees, he was famous for taking out knees.
Well, there you go.